Hey guys, in this video we're going to be going over how you construct this AgriCraft seed maximizer / mutator that you see here. This was built in the Divine Journey 2 mod pack and requires you to have access to crop sticks, which you will be getting at the very beginning of chapter 23. Now, there are already quite a few other setups like this on YouTube and circulating throughout the Divine Journey 2 Discord, and by no means is this the best of them. This one has its pros, has its cons, like any of the others. I am the kind of player who likes making things as fast and as automated as possible. And this setup, I believe, does the best of both worlds. It's extremely quick and it is fully automatic. So, by that I mean you can just take your crafted seeds and chuck them in this crate, and then see your completed seeds inside of this crate. There is no other manual input from you required. It is also going to be quite a bit faster than conventional setups, and that will be for two reasons. First, because the ratio of breeding blocks to crossbreeding blocks is going to be 3:1 instead of 2:1 and 2:2, which are going to be the traditional ratios that you see with the more conventional setups. This is very good because having more breeding blocks involved in the mutation process results in a higher mutation. Basically, the jump in stats of the seed will be a lot better. And as the jump improves, the number of cycles required to complete a 10-10-10 seed will drastically reduce. So, in other words, this will basically just have to cycle the seed a lot less. And the second major change is how this actually cycles the seed. So, conventional setups will typically plant a seed, let it grow, let it mutate, and then break all of the seeds, read their values, and replant the best one. This setup is not going to do that. This setup will keep the entire process in place. It will never have to break all of the seeds, and it will never have to read the seeds externally. And this saves a lot of time in growing and replanting and basically just moving the seed around. The whole thing can be done in place without any of that. So to demonstrate, I have two regular crafted seeds here, a Grains of Infinity seed and a Fire seed. And if you look inside of here, we can see their completed counterparts. These are 10-10-10 variants of the two. So we'll chuck them in here, and we're going to watch the process unfold. Okay, we'll plant the seed. That seed will grow. That seed will spread. Then that original seed which spread will now mutate into a better one. Then it will grow again, spread and grow, then be broken, and the process will repeat until this central seed here is a 10-10-10 seed. There are 71 Hydrators here. You could have more, you could have less. This I found is basically the golden number. Any more than this is kind of overkill. And with this setup, it will be able to produce a 10-10-10 seed in about 1 to 2 minutes, on average, let's just say. And yeah, that's it. We can sit here and quickly watch as it finishes the seed and produces a 10-10-10, and then switches over to the Grains of Infinity seed afterwards. Okay, there we go. It finished the Fire seed and now moved on to the Grains of Infinity seed, fully automatically. Again, no input from us. And if you look in here, if we go ahead and sort the chest, we can see there are now two 10-10-10 Fire seeds in here. So very, very quick, about a minute, and fully automated. Let's go over how we build it. Okay, let's get to building. So we have a creative world here, a disabled daylight cycle, and we have a nice little open chunk over here to build everything inside of. Okay, we're going to start with some Calyx soil. We're going to create the same configuration as last time, this 3:1 ratio. Then we're going to start placing melodic energy conduits where we would have Hydrators. Now, an easy way to think about this is that this is going to be a 3x3 pattern. So this block here and these blocks here will be taken up by Integrated Dynamics blocks. So on everything else except for those, we can set up some Hydrators. And I do recommend you use this pattern for 71 Hydrators, as I think this is the best one. But that's up to you, of course. Okay, this looks good to me. You can then go ahead and fill in those blocks with hydrators, like so. Okay, looks good, and in total you should have 71 if you did like this, 73 if you go like this, so up to you. Okay, then we're going to fill in the hydrators with upgrades, and the configuration I recommend you use is a +4 range add-on, an energy upgrade 1, a speed upgrade 1, and then an energy upgrade 2. This setup is better than having 2 speed upgrades. Okay, looks good to me. Then we can remove all of this stuff and just provide some power for the hydrators. I will use creative energy cells, but you could use whatever you want. Okay, cool. The next step is to set up the integrated dynamic stuff that will be present in this middle part. So let's get some logic cables. Then we're going to need some world readers. These right here. Oh, I'm sorry, no, we need a block reader, not a world reader. Yeah, these right here. And we are going to also need some player simulators. These guys right here. Now, we're also going to want to get an omnidirectional connector. I really recommend you use these because these make it incredibly simple to connect the setup and not make it all a big cluster down over here. Okay, we're going to place cable there. We're going to have our block readers be down here. And then we're going to move this up like so. And we're going to have our player simulators be down here, like that. And place an omnidirectional connector at the top. We're going to right click this so it gets a group, and then we're going to middle mouse button click this to get the same group. In survival mode, you'll have to simply craft them as a single bundle to make them all the same group. But in creative mode, that's how you get them all to be the same group. Place one, right click it, then delete your old one, and middle mouse click this to get a copy of it. Okay, that is the bottom portion of the build done. Now let's get the top portion done. So I'm going to grab some stone bricks and some thickened glass, and let's quickly build a little frame here. Grab a wand. Okay. Okay, cool. Now, your setup does not have to be exactly the same as this. There is no reason why you have to copy this, but if you wanted to, you most definitely can. Okay, we're going to need some variable stores. I am going to use 3 of these, and we're also going to need an NBT extractor. So 3 variable stores and an NBT extractor. And we're going to just place them like so. 1, 2, 3. We're going to also place our NBT extractor. And let's grab some logic cable and just go ahead and connect all of this together now. Maybe like this instead. Cool. Next, we are going to bring this cable line back to here. Let's say about here. And we're going to build the ender porcupines that connect to the blocks above the calyx soil. So that would look a little bit like this. We grab 3 ender porcupines. Technically need 4, not 3, excuse me. And I like to use this configuration, but again, you don't have to use the same as me. You can just do it however you like. This will be the crossbreeding block, and these 3 will be the breeder blocks. So let's go ahead and align them. Okay, so let's see. I believe we're looking at 5 blocks lower. 6 blocks lower. Okay. Cool. And then we're going to move it into place. So this one will be... Yep, looks good right there. And that looks to be perfectly in place. Actually, even one lower. Yeah, 7 blocks. Okay, that's correct. Now, we're going to have them be in order of 1, 2, 3. This will be the first breeder block, the second, and the third. This isn't super important, but I like to keep things organized. And yeah, okay. So a little trick you can do here is you can delete your old ones, copy these two, and notice how they will be copied with the same settings. So now to align this one, we can just see which of these two moves in the right direction. I believe it will be like this. Oh, no, like this. Okay, so as you can see, these now cover the 3 breeder blocks. You can see the little white square down there whenever I hover over it. Then we're going to get this one into the middle. So these are -7, this would be -9. Okay. And we'll do -3. Yep, that looks right. Good, okay. Next we're going to set up some mechanical miners and mechanical users. Let's go ahead and get that done. Mechanical miner and mechanical user. So we're going to have, I was going to grab a crescent hammer actually to help with aligning these things. So we're going to have mechanical miners facing into the porcupine from both sides, like so. 2, 3. And we're going to have the exact same thing for the crossbreeder block. Okay. And then each of these mechanical miners needs to be set to pulse, redstone pulse right here. If you just right click on this, it'll set it to redstone pulse automatically. Okay, cool. Now, I am going to recommend that you grab an efficiency 5 book and put them inside of these as well. You don't have to do this. Oh, I think we have to actually use a regular enchanted book. Huh. Alright, that's fine, I suppose. Okay, sorry about that. So I got some regular books here. I do recommend you put these in here. Otherwise, it'll take the miner a little bit of time to break the sticks, which will slow the whole system down. You don't have to do this necessarily, but doing this will speed the whole system up by a pretty sizable margin. Okay, great. Finally, we just have to place a mechanical user facing up on this block like so, and this one is going to be set to redstone on, activate block with item, and right click. Yeah. Also, we're going to have this set to upper left slot only. And while we're at it, go ahead and grab some random block like stone, and just fill in the other 8 slots of this with stone, like that. Okay, cool. Now we can go ahead and we can quickly make a connection over here. Let's do it like this, so we have some space down here for later. And let's also go ahead and connect the whole system together with this omnidirectional connector up here. Okay, cool. Now we're going to wire up all of these users and miners over here. So, to do that, let's grab some redstone writers, some imports, some item importers, some item, actually just a single item exporter, and then a few item interfaces. And we're also going to grab some medium storage crates. Well, you can use small storage crates, large doesn't really matter. Okay, so we're going to place a redstone writer here, and here, and also here. Yeah. Then we're going to place another bit of logic cable here, and we're going to place a redstone writer here. And let's also go ahead and connect this to the system, like so. Yeah, I'll make this even so it looks nice, like that. Okay. Then let's start wiring these up. So we need item importers on each one of these miners, like so. Perfect. And then this user is going to need a item exporter. And we're also going to need a inventory reader. So we can put the reader here and the exporter here. Okay, that looks good. Okay, let's connect wiring to all of this now. Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and put all this stuff away. We don't need this again. Oh, I'm sorry. We actually do need this again because we need item interfaces. Go ahead and put a medium crate on top of these 3 blocks, and then grab a drawer. This is going to be for crop sticks, and place that here. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put item interfaces on all 4 of these. So, perfect. Okay, now for the sake of remembering what's what, we're going to go ahead and we're going to label these chests. Okay, so we're going to call this one general output. Okay, this is going to be crop sticks. This is going to be final output, and this is going to be input. Cool. Now we're also going to go ahead and grab some regular item conduits, a basic filter, a trash can, and let's grab some crop sticks too. Oops. There we go. Okay. So, let's drop a item conduit here, a garbage can there, and another item conduit here. Okay. Perfection. Now we're going to take this basic filter and, oops. And we're going to set this thing to filter crop sticks. Let's make a copy of it and make the copy blacklist crop sticks. Okay, so we have a whitelist copy and a blacklist copy. Now, into the garbage can, we're going to insert the blacklist copy. So this should be set to blacklist crop sticks. Anything but crop sticks can go into here. Into the drawer, we're going to whitelist crop sticks. So only crop sticks can go into here. Again, this one is whitelist, and this one is blacklist. And then on this one, we're also going to put another whitelist upgrade, so only crop sticks can go into here. Set this to insert, set this all to insert, and set this to extract always, and set this to also extract always. You can grab a few extract speed upgrades for this one, just to make things a little bit quicker, but you don't have to. Up to you. And then we can just chuck some crop sticks into this chest here. Okay. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Alright. Let's move on here. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to wire up all of the redstone to hit these things with pulses when it is the right moment to break stuff. So let's grab some redstone, and actually we're going to grab some redstone repeaters. And also some red alloy cable. I don't really care how you wire this. This could be any way as long as this works. I like using repeaters because sometimes redstone bugs out and malforms after a server restart. So I like doing it like this. And then on this side, just grab some blocks like so. And we'll have redstone here. Some red alloy wires on the sides. And that will go like this. Okay, perfect. This is all wired up now. On the right, just make sure these are all on pulse. Yeah, they are. Okay, cool. So, then you're going to get... Actually, we still need some more redstone. We're going to go over here. We're going to extend this by 2 blocks, and we're going to get a redstone reader. Not a writer, but a reader. We're going to place these here. We're going to get a timer. It could be any timer you want. And we're going to get a toggle latch, and I will explain what this does later. And we're also going to get a muffler. This is a really important safety net that prevents the system from breaking in the possible case that it breaks both the cross breeder block and the breeder block at the same time. So we will have a toggle latch placed like this. Yeah, like this. And then a timer facing into it like this. Okay, and let's just grab a lever, and we're gonna turn this timer off for now. As for the time interval, I like using a second. If you want it to be really quick, you could do something like half a second. It's up to you. But this is the setting I use. And I'm going to go ahead and just muffle this thing because it is annoyingly loud as well. Okay. That is it. This is all you will need in order to get the system working. The whole thing is built. Just make sure it's all wired up and connected. Looks like it is to me. Yeah, sweet. Okay. Let's start on programming this now. So there are a lot of steps here. We're going to start by just programming all of the importers and exporters and stuff like that. There's quite a few of these things here, and by default, these things will have a 1 tick per operation setting, which is quite laggy. And I highly recommend that you increase these, and I'm going to show you which ones to increase to what. And basically just make the whole setup a little bit more performance efficient. You don't have to do this, you could leave everything on 1, but I do recommend you do it just to keep things as lag-free as possible. Okay, so every single one of these item importers that you see here should be on 20. Okay, and looks like I also forgot some cable over here. Leave all of the redstone readers and writers on 1. The inventory reader, leave this on 1 as well. Okay, the importers you could leave on 1, you could change, it's up to you. Actually, we're going to set these to 10. These don't have to be firing all the time. So this redstone writer here, this one right over here can be on 10. And this one can also be on 10. These do not have to be super duper fast. This one should remain on 1. Okay, that is all. Now we're going to set up the channels and priorities for the items. So again, we're going to label this just to keep things simple. This will be 0. Crop sticks are going to be... I'll have crop sticks actually on 3 so that this makes more sense. Output will be also on 1. So general output to 0, final output to 1. Crop sticks on 3, and then the other input, this is the seed input, will be on 2. Okay, now let's set up all the channels. So the exporter, which should be right over here, this is going to be on channel 2, like so. The interface should also be on 2. Then we have our crop stick interface, this should be on 3. And for the crop sticks, they're going to go into these things over here. So we are going to set these up on click. We'll do this now, make this easy on us. Again on click, channel 3. We'll have the actual logic for this set up later. Just have this all set up for now. Okay, perfect. Then we're going to have our general output on 0. Since the majority of our things are already on 0 by default, all of these item importers, we don't have to touch them at all. However, this top one will be the final seed output. This one connected to the mechanical miner over here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to set this one to be on 2, which will be our final input. Oh, sorry, on 1, which will be our final output. Not 2, but on 1. Okay. And then finally, just some cleanup. This should be an interface channel 1, and now everything should be good. Yep, looks good. Okay. So, the next step is to begin doing a little bit of programming here. And we're going to start by just setting up the basic variable cards that you need to get the whole system kind of working, just keeping track of important variables and stuff like that. I would recommend you get yourself a portable logic programmer, and we're also going to want a labeler. There are a lot of variable cards involved in the setup, so we're going to want to be labeling them as we go and really making sure we are staying as organized as possible. Okay, let's begin. So first we are going to get the NBT tags of all 4 of these blocks here. And actually, for the sake of making this a little bit more interesting, we're going to set up some crop sticks. We're going to grab a display. And we're going to just use this to kind of debug what's going on. We don't really need this, I can go over this without it, but it would be cool just to see what's happening and why we're doing things as we're doing them. Okay, let's start with the crossbreeder block. Grab the tile entity NBT. And then in order, we're going to grab the breeder blocks. So this is going to be 1. This is going to be 2. And this is going to be 3. Perfect. Let's go ahead and label these. CB for crossbreeder, and BB for breeder block. Cool. So we have our crossbreeder block and our 3 breeder blocks. Now we're also going to go ahead and just make another one of the crossbreeder. You could just copy the variable card, but being lazy here. And another one of any of the breeder blocks. Actually, let's specifically do breeder block 1 because I want to stay consistent here. We'll be using breeder block 1 for all of the calculations. And we can head up here and just for the debugging purposes make a screen. 2 screens, in fact, that we can take a look at. So we're going to have let's go and label them CB and BB1. Oops, and BB1. Okay, we're going to have CB be on the bottom and the first breeder block be on the top. Perfect. Okay, and then for debugging purposes, just grab any seed. I'm going to use regular generic Minecraft seeds here and stick them into all 3 of the blocks. Cool. Okay, and we can see some NBT data has popped up over here. Very good. Now we're going to grab a couple of variable cards and we're going to head to our NBT extractor. So put in your crossbreeder block and you're going to see a bunch of different NBT tags pop up over here. We need to collect, to start with, 3 types of tags: the strength, the gain, and the growth. These are the 3 stats that will eventually become 10, 10, 10. So we're going to just chuck the variable card in, grab the strength, and just to keep things organized, we're going to put it all in order. So we're going to get strength first, then we're going to get gain, and then we're going to get growth. And we will label these in a minute. Now, we don't have to do this for all 3 of the breeder blocks, just for the first one. So again, we're going to get strength, and gain, and growth. So we've extracted all the required NBTs, perfect. And I do recommend you label these. So you can call this CBSTR for strength, and we're going to call this one BBSTR. Actually, BB1STR. Okay, we're going to call this CB, this is going to be gain, so this is going to be CB gain. And this one will be the CB growth, so we'll just do GRO. Okay, same thing here, we have BB1 gain. And BB1 growth. Okay, so this is all labeled, perfect. Now, while we're here, we're also going to go ahead and we're going to extract another type of NBT from this, which is the meta value. Meta is basically how much the seed has grown, and a meta of 7 tells us that the seed is completely grown. So we're going to track that for later. And again, we'll just do it in order to keep things organized. Oh, that is bad. Okay, we accidentally clicked this in when we shouldn't have, but that's fine. This was BB2, which is here. Just to reset this. Okay, all good. So again, put BB1 in, put a variable card in, grab the meta. Then put BB2 in, grab the meta. and put PB3 in and grab the meta. Okay, we've extracted all of the required variables for now. And we can just put the, actually let's label these. CB meta. BB2 meta. Oh, no, that was not the right variable card. And BB3 meta. Okay, perfection. That's just an empty variable card. Okay, perfect. Let's get rid of this. We don't need this anymore. Okay. We have all three meta values. We have the strength, gain, and growth for the crossbreeder and the first breeder. Perfect. Now we're going to go to our logic programmer, click integer, and we're going to create two integers. First, we're going to make 30. This is going to be the thing we're looking for. This will determine if a seed is perfectly maxed out, if it's a 10-10-10. We're also going to create 7. This is how we're going to determine if a seed is grown using the meta value. Okay, and now we're going to start setting up some logic. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to combine these three stats into one number for both the crossbreeder and the breeder block. Basically just total them up. So let's go find the plus operator. Okay, add operator, same thing. First we're going to add the strength and the gain. And let's call this CB strength plus gain. Cool. And then we're going to take the strength plus gain and add it to the CB growth. And this will give us the CB total. Great. Now we do the same thing for the first breeder block. So we take strength plus gain. Let's call this BB1 str plus gain. Okay. And then the next one will be the total. So we grab the strength plus gain, add it to the growth, and we have the total. Perfect. Now we're also going to do a little bit of arithmetic with the meta value. So we're going to determine if these are fully grown by using an equals operator. Basically just is it equal to something. And we're going to just check are they equal to 7 for each one. And we're going to call it CB grown. Okay. Then we're going to get the same thing but for BB1. And for BB2. And for BB3. Okay, perfect. Then we're going to start adding these together in one general purpose statement to determine if all 4 of these are grown. But we're going to do it in a weird order because we are separately going to need to determine if BB3 is grown. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do the double AND sign. This one up here, the logical AND operator. And we're going to start by adding up the BBs. We're going to start with BB1 and BB2. BB1 and BB2 grown. And then we're going to take this one and add BB3 into the mix, like so. So we put the BB1 and BB2 in here and then BB3 in here. And again, we're just determining if basically all of the breeder blocks are grown. And then finally, just in case we need it, let's also get another one that includes the CB as well. So we're going to put the CB grown here, with this over here, and this determines us for us if everything is grown. Okay. Perfect. Let's clean this up a little bit and put some of the stuff away. We don't want all of this clogging up our inventory. So we'll put all this here. Then strength, the gain, the growth, strength, the gain, the growth. Let's get the strength plus gain, and then we're going to keep the total here so we can find it easily. Actually, here. Okay. Then we're going to take the is grown, put them here, and then the additive ones and put them here. Okay, nice and organized, perfect. Now we are going to just look into some more important logic. So the first thing we're going to check is going to involve the totals. Let's also get the 30 card here, the 30 variable card. And I think that's all we need here. Yep. Okay, cool. So the first thing we're going to figure out is we're going to make a variable card that checks if the CB total is larger than the breeder block total. Basically, is the mutated seed better than the previous seed? So we just need a greater than sign, like so. And we're going to say, is CB total better than BB total? That's it. Okay. Next, we're going to actually create an inverted version of this card. Basically just saying BB1 or CB is less than or equal to BB1. Okay, this will cover the case when the seed in the middle is not better than the current one, when it's an identical copy, or if any other weird edge cases happen. You could do this, but for the sake of clarity, we're going to just use an inverter card. We're going to invert this, and we're going to call it CB not equal, basically any edge case where it is not greater than BB1, like so. Okay, perfect. Actually, for clarity's sake, let's rename this one. Let's do like that to make things a little bit more clear. Okay, then we are also going to create another card that determines if the CB total is actually equal to 30. So if the crossbreeder block has reached its maximum, which is 30. So we're going to check, is this equal to 30? Great. Oh, we'll rename that in a second. And we're also going to create an inverted version of that card in a sec. Basically, is it equal to 30? And then another card, which is it not equal to 30? So CB not equal to 30. Okay. So at this point, you should have, is CB bigger than BB1? Is CB not bigger than BB1? And then is CB equal to 30? And is CB not equal to 30? And we can put all of this stuff away now. Okay. Integer card 30, and then our 4 new logic operations here at the bottom. Okay. Good. Very good. Now we're going to collect some data from down over here. Okay, this is going to be data on whether or not there is a block present here in the first place. This is going to be so that we can automatically put new crop sticks in place if there isn't one. Okay, so let's get has block. Let's do this actually in order. So we're going to do has block of CB first, then of BB1, then of BB2, and then 3. Let's name them. And BB3 has block. Okay. Perfect. Let's put, actually, no, I don't do anything else here. Now let's go up to this mechanical user. Oh, sorry, over here. And in this inventory reader, we're going to scroll down and we're going to get the inventory count. Okay. And let's just call this input user inv count. Okay. Next, go over here, and we're going to get another integer, and we're going to make this one 9. And if you can't already tell what I'm doing with this, the purpose is that this has 8 filled slots by default. If a seed appears up here, then there are 9 filled slots, and therefore we know that there is a seed available to start the process. Okay, we can now just do an equals equals operator. And we're going to say if the count of the inventory is equal to 9, we can say input has seed, something like that. Great. And let's put these cards all away for now. Okay, cool. Very cool. Next, we're going to do a little bit of checking in regards to what... so let's say that there is a crop stick present on this slot. I'm actually going to break this for a second just to demonstrate. This is an empty crop stick. Okay. If we were to look... Oh, yeah, it doesn't work, does it? No. Second, sorry. Yeah, so as you can see, this has the ID AgriCraft tile crop. If I now grab a seed, place the seed into here, a new NBT tag pops up called agri_seed. This is not present if it's just a regular crop stick here. So to show it again, put a crop stick there. There is no agri-seed present. So we are going to determine if there are seeds in the crop sticks. And the way we do this is we are going to use the nbt.hasKey operator. Okay, to do this we need to get a string to look for, right? The input type 2 is a string, so we're going to look for a string key. Let's create a string, and that string will be agri-seed. Okay, and again, if I were to plant a seed here, you'll see there is now an agri-seed present. Okay, the way we check this is we're going to check it against the original NBTs that we have here. So we're going to do nbt.hasKey, put in our NBT, and put in our string variable card with agri-seed in it. Okay, and we're going to then say cb has seed. Perfect. Let's do the same for the other ones. BB1 has seed. BB2 has seed. And BB3 has seed. Okay, perfect. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to invert these three. You can put these NBT tags away, don't need them anymore. We're going to create inverted versions of these, basically checking if these blocks don't have a seed. So let's invert them. Let's put in CB has seed, and we can just say CB has no seed. Okay, BB1 has no seed. BB2 has no seed. And BB3 has no seed. Okay, perfect. Now we're gonna take these variable cards and we're going to basically combine them into one, right? We're gonna just check if everything has no seed, and we're also gonna check if all three have a seed, if all three breeder blocks have a seed. So let's do that step by step. In fact, let's actually split these up to make this a bit easier, like so. Yeah, okay. So we're going to do the first one if the three breeder blocks have a seed. Okay, so we're going to get the AND operator. Okay. Add 3 into the mix. Perfect. Then we'll do the same, but for has no seed, and we'll include CB in this case. Have no seed. Okay. BB1, BB2. Okay. Then we'll add BB3 into the mix. Oh, oops. Okay, perfect. And then we're going to just say all sticks have no seed. Okay. And for that, we're going to take this one, the 3 breeder blocks, and the CB has no seed. Okay, perfect. Okay, and let's put all of this new stuff we just made away into another variable store. We're going to try to keep things as split up as possible to keep things as organized as possible. And we'll put the string variable card somewhere. Okay, already almost used up a stack of variable cards. Not too bad, not too bad. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up the automated placement of crop sticks, and we've already made almost everything that we need for this. We're going to just go ahead and we're going to grab these 3 has block variables and we're going to invert them. So let's take the CB has block. We don't even have to name these because we'll be able to keep track of these. These will never be looked at again. So just invert it, then invert the BB one. You're going to want to place them in order just so you know which is which, but you don't have to name them or anything since you will never look at them again. Okay, perfect. Let's just verify this was correct. Yep, okay. Okay, you can put these away. We know this is the CB, this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. Okay, then we're going to go down over here, and we are going to place these blocks into the click slot that we adjusted the channel of earlier. So CB goes in the middle, and you can see it is going to break that. Then over here, that was 1, this is 2, and this is going to be 3. Perfect. Now we're going to make a couple of changes inside of this setting. So for the 3 breeder blocks, not for the middle one, for the 3 breeder blocks, make sure the channel is set to 3. Then scroll through this and take continuous click, set this to false. Now you don't have to do this last step, but I highly recommend you do it. You go to the offset Y and change this to 0.01. You don't have to do this, but this seems to cause issues on servers if it is not at 0.01. Okay, we'll do the same here. So we're going to go through, set continuous click to false, and set the offset Y to 0.01. And finally the same thing over here. And again, make sure it's on channel 3. Okay, and offset Y 0.01. Great. Now let's handle the middle one. The middle one is a bit more complex. So first of all, again, also on channel 3. Now, right click will be true, right hand will be true, continuous click will also be false, but this time we're going to enable sneak. Okay, this is because shift right clicking with crop sticks places the cross pattern automatically. However, this on its own is not going to be enough to get the player simulator to place them because it is currently limited to transferring only 1 crop stick. So we're going to set the transfer rate to 2. So basically set the sneak to true, set the transfer rate to 2, and set the continuous click to false. And then again, as with the others, I recommend you set this to 0.01. Okay, so just to verify this works, if I now start breaking blocks, you can see it will place a crop stick in its place every time, assuming you have crop sticks up here, which is exactly what we want. Perfect. Okay. Okay, now we're going to do some of the logic required to determine when we're going to cycle the crossbreeder block and the actual breeder blocks. Basically, when do we break them to let them either spread or mutate / crossbreed. Okay, this is going to get a little bit complex. So let's start with the crossbreeder block, since that one is probably a bit more important. For the crossbreeder block, we are going to need the following logic. So we're going to need the case when it is not bigger than BB1. So basically, again, this is when do we want to break the crossbreeder? Well, the first case is it not bigger than BB1? Is it less than or equal to BB1? Then we also don't want to be breaking it if it is equal to 30, we want to break it differently. If it is not equal to 30, we want to break it. Then we also want to check that the breeder blocks have already grown, meaning that there is already copies there. Not have seed, but grown. Yeah, so we're going to get the 3 breeder blocks and check that they're grown. Finally, we're going to check, is the middle block fully grown? This is not necessarily needed, because technically you could know if the seed is a 10-10-10 before it's fully grown. However, I've noticed some issues on multiplayer with correctly scanning the seed if you break it before it's fully grown. So to do that, we're going to just check is CB grown as well. Okay, and we're going to take all of these cards and combine them into a single large, one single card with a bunch of AND statements. So just start combining them one by one here, and I do recommend you label them. So this is not CB greater than BB1, and CB is not equal, oops, oh, sorry, a bit of lag right there, and CB is not equal to 30. Okay, that's the first one. Then we take that one and combine it with this. We can say and BB all grown. Okay, and then finally, again, this is the optional one that you don't technically need, but I still recommend you have it since this avoids some weird issues that happen if the seed is not fully grown. And CB grown. Okay, so the final variable card should look like this. You should be checking, is CB not larger than BB1? Is CB not equal to 30? Are all the breeder blocks grown? And is the crossbreeder block grown? Again, the reason why I separate these two instead of making one card is because the last one is technically optional. Up to you if you want to have it there or not. Okay. And let's go ahead and keep these in the third variable storage just to keep things organized. So we're going to put them like so. This is going to be the 3 cards related to cycling the breeder block. Okay, and we can now put all of this stuff away. So CB grown goes back, this goes back, this goes back, and this goes back. Now let's work on the cycling of the breeder blocks. Basically, we just did crossbreeder. Now when do we want to break the 3 breeder blocks? Okay, well this is basically going to be the opposite of the crossbreeder block. So when the crossbreeder block is better than the breeder blocks, we want to break them so that the new crossbred block can spread to them. The new crossbred seed, excuse me, can spread to them. Okay, we still don't want to break it if it is not 30. Or so if it is 30, we don't want to break it because we're going to break it differently if it's 30. We want to check if the middle seed is grown. This one is mandatory if the crossbreeder seed is grown because we definitely want it to be able to spread before we break the breeder blocks. And we are going to check that all 3 breeder blocks actually have a seed. This way it doesn't just chain break them for no reason. So we're going to grab this. Basically, if they're empty, that doesn't break them for no reason. Okay, and let's combine them all into a card again. So we have CB is greater than BB1, and CB is not equal to 30. Then we have is CB grown? So is the middle block grown? And we take this one and combine it with this one. And then we finally have do the 3 breeder blocks have a seed? Seed. Okay. We'll do this and this. Okay. Let's just go ahead and check that these came out correct. I'm going to go ahead and hover over the finished products, just to verify that yours look the same way. Okay, perfect. We can put these back now. This one should be here, and this one should be here. Okay. Now, there is one final step that we have to do before we can put these cards in, and that is to prevent the race condition, or not even really a race condition, basically the one potential condition that could happen where both the middle block and the breeder blocks are broken at the same time. And that is what this toggle latch over here is for. So basically this will flip every second and allow the crossbreeder block in 1 second to be broken, and then the next second the breeder blocks. And we'll just flip every second and prevent that potential race condition from happening. If your system is quicker than mine, like if you're using a watch of flowing time or Heralgium or something, you can make this a lot lower. This can be as low as you want. I think probably anything below this, though, is pointless, because there's also the growth time to account for. So we'll just do a second. And let's create the variable cards that read the lock. So we'll have one for CB, and make sure it's from Redstone, and then one for breeder block. Label these, call this CB lock, and breeder blocks lock. Okay, so as I'm sure you can now guess, this will combine with the final product of the logic that we made earlier. And this is going to give us the final cycle. Basically, when all of this is true, we're going to cycle the whole system and break the block associated with the logic. So we'll do another AND. We'll take the original and combine it with the lock, and let's call this cycle CB. Great. And we'll do the same thing for the breeder blocks. Okay, perfect. Let's put these away. Yep. And we're gonna put these two in the appropriate redstone readers. So the cycle CB one, the one that breaks the cross block, will go up here. Oh, sorry, not in this bottom one, in this top one. Make sure it's always in this top slot. And again, it's up here because this is facing into the ender porcupine that's facing the middle block. Okay, and then the one for breeder blocks will be over here. That connects to the 3 ender porcupines for the breeder blocks. Okay. Perfect. Now we have to set up the logic that will occur if the middle seed turns out to be a 30. Okay, so if you remember in the logic chain we just used over here, we are consistently checking that they are not 30, but what happens if it is 30? Let's go ahead and set that up now. So let's grab the CB is equal to 30. All we really need to know here is this 30 and is it fully grown? I don't even know if it has to be fully grown, but for the sake of being safe, let's just verify it. Let's create an AND card. Okay. And let's just call this cycle seeds. So basically, is the whole process finished? Okay, put this away. And this cycle seeds card is going to go in here, in this redstone writer here. Okay, perfect. So that is pretty much everything we have to do in terms of getting the seed breeding process to work. All we have to do now is set up the automated insertion, which we should have already done everything we need for. So we are going to grab the input has seed. Okay, this basically will verify that there is a seed available to put into the system. And we're also going to grab the all sticks have no seed, which checks if the whole system is empty, basically if it recently finished its old seed. Okay, and get an ant card. So again, does the input have a seed, and are all of our sticks empty? And we can call this input new seed. Okay, great. Put this away, and put this away. And then this input new seed is going to go here. And in case you forgot, this should be on redstone on, not on pulse, because this will have to click twice in order to get this to work. Okay. That appears to be everything that we need. Let's give it a test run. I'm sure we screwed something up, but we can definitely fix it along the way. So let's grab a fire seed, and let's just say a nature seed. Okay. Toss them into the input, and let's see what happens. Oh, I believe I can guess what happened here? There is, so this does not know when it needs to export all items, and actually neither do these, so we missed a pretty important step here. All you have to do is just place an import card inside of these item importers here. And this will make sure that they're always on. See how it says true. Okay. Oops. Okay. Perfection. And we'll do the same for the item exporter so that the new seed can be put into here. Okay, there's our new seed. Did not appear to turn on. Let's see what went wrong here. This is untrue. But it is not doing anything. Okay, so slight correction. I believe I know what the problem was. We need to get a dragon egg mill, or any other form of grid power. This is because if I hover over this, you can see that there's power drain, but because this is in a new creative world, we have no grid power, which is why this is not working, I think. Okay, so we just turn that on. This needs to be back on activate item with block, and there we go. Everything will start working just fine now. Okay, and let's just make sure everything is working as intended. We'll give it a second here. Okay, it is not currently breaking the breeder blocks, and I wonder why that is. Let's go investigate. Yep, so this is not currently on, but it should be. Because we never turned on the lever. There we go. Okay. Looks good. Yep, looks perfectly fine to me now. So again, you could make this quite a bit faster, which will speed up the whole process. And yeah, so that appears to be working fine now. Let's just make sure that when the seed completes, it cycles correctly. Okay, this seems to be working fine, and if you guys are curious, you can actually quickly take a look at how our seed is doing. We're already at a, let's see here, we're already at a 7.75, so yeah, pretty quick. Definitely pretty quick. to 9, and likely the next one will complete the whole chain. Done. Perfect. And it should place the new seed. Yep. Okay. Well, it looks like we made a few tiny mistakes in the construction. Definitely don't forget the dragon egg mill, and don't forget to turn your timer back on. Other than that, that is the complete setup. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this proves useful. As a final note, this setup could easily be made a lot quicker by adding some kind of a powerful tick accelerator, like Horalgium. And I also... Oh, actually, another little quick tip. The mechanical user will right-click this block to place the seed, which will break one of the crop sticks. So I do recommend you create a quick little ranged collector, a phantom face. Basically, just create an easy way to deposit the broken crop stick back into the mechanical user. This way nothing is going to waste, so we'll just have a ranged collector, whitelisting crop sticks, grab a conduit. This will only waste like one crop stick, it's not a big deal, but if you want to be a perfectionist, I recommend you set this up quickly. Put this on insert, have this extract, and then we'll just we'll just bind our phantom face to this drawer. And like so. So now there is no waste. Okay, that is it. And so yeah, if you wanted to speed this up, add some kind of tick acceleration. It looks like our nature seed just finished. And just to verify, yep, here we go. We have our completed 10-10-10. This essence is going to be put in there too. I don't think there's any great way to filter this out, so just use a large enough storage crate that the buffer can hold the essence as well as the seed. Okay, that is all. Hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, bye.